instinctual plays and having that engage onto the enemy team, where Haichao, maybe something like that Annie could work for them in this game too.
We'll have to see. Nico taken off the board. You'd expect Ahri to be a priority with LGD having that Vi. You don't really want to play up against the Vi-Ahri combo. And you could always just go for a Wukong, but you could save Wukong for third and go for a priority in one of the other lanes, perhaps. Go for a, I mean, based on game number 1, top lane might be the priority. We kind of just ignored bottom lane in the first draft. But yeah, the Envyy locked in for JackeyLove, not too surprised.
We do still have the champions like Cassante, which is going to be a great blind up against top esports, but being Wayward, I'm assuming he can just pick something like the Sion or Gragas as a response. We'll have to wait and see, or even the Gwen if he wants to go for those hard-winning,
the Wayward carry.
Yeah, isolated matchup, but it is going to be the potential Zyra Khan lock-in for Envyy and JinJiao in this game too once again, but being the Aphelios, he does have a lot less mobility when it comes to the laning phase and is susceptible to those engages from JinJiao. So hopefully, even with the Vi getting locked in for Meteor, we see that early game aggression out of LGD for this game too.
Kind of an interesting spot for top to be in the draft as well, where it's like do you prioritize Mark getting that Nautilus to have the same matchup as the previous game?
Lulu.
Apparently not. They go for the Lulu instead. I wasn't sure if it'd be this or the Wukong would have been the other option, right? To get yourself a good jungler for the matchup. But Lulu going to be locked in for Mark. So not prioritizing that Nautilus in the slightest.
I've always thought Mark was a really good enchanter player ever since spring, and that's definitely been his strong point, where the engaged supports were a little bit on and off. But coming to summer, he's really stabled out and he's introduced that champion into his pool as well. But the Lulu, something that you can always trust in Mark's hand, and having a lot of that anti-dive ability, especially just looking at LGD's composition so far. So it's gonna really challenge how the Meteor and JinJiao takes those fights in particular. But we already see the mid lane is getting taken off. The Annie is something that I believe Haichao has played the most, not finding too much success, but it is still his comfort. However, top lane, still a very big question, because I feel like Wayward, depending on how Tian wants to look for his jungle, something like the Sejuani is still up and available, and that allows Wayward to play Jax or Gwen for this game too.
I'm really curious what Haichao's going to go for as well, because the Jace is still available. And I feel like that's top esports, and specifically Rookie, saying, look, I beat your Jace in game number 1. Are you happy to go for it again? Because Jace is the only other champion available that Haichao's played this split. And we'll see what he's going to end up going for. Top esports, though, looking towards jungle, looking towards top lane. And that Poppy, most likely in the jungle, but there's been sprinklings of Toppy around the world.
I've been a really big fan of Poppy in the LPL so far because of how many team compositions, or at least teams, enjoy such heavy dive into this meta. So it's really going to reduce the angles that Meteor and JinJiao are going to be able to find. Oh, it's just going to be Jax. I swear Wayward is just going to lock in Jax and play with this Poppy. But maybe not. Come on, just lock one of them in.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have talked about the hover. I've baited us both at this point, and he's just going to go for a tank, isn't he? Wayward, sorry, is fully on tank duty this split. No carries to be seen. I was so ready for that Tryndamere. That would have been so much fun to watch. But here we go. Our compositions are locked in. Kitty, how are we feeling about this one so far, especially for LGD with the Syndra in that mid lane?
I love the Syndra pick. We see a lot of those top ranking teams having the Syndra pick because you have that range, and of course the huge item spike when you do pick up that Shadow Flame, and up against something like this Lulu and Poppy, the shields that they provide when it comes to these team fights is going to really bite them back. Probably not the most ideal way. However, my eyes are still onto Tian on this Poppy, because we saw that this pick up against Wayward Gaming, he was able to force numbers advantage by just landing these ultimates onto 2-3 people, and he did amazing for that team composition. So we'll have to wait and see, because top esports, they locked in a very standard composition. They want to play front to back and have JackeyLove as their main star carry.
We've heard this story before, haven't we? JackeyLove is the star carry. Who could have predicted this one? The Aphelios locked in, and it feels like one of the, if not the strongest carry. Honestly, I feel like in the LPL at least, in my mind, anecdotally, Aphelios has been the strongest carry, even above Zeri so far. We'll see if that continues, and we'll see if that's even true. That is just my personal experience as opposed to anything statistical. We'll see what JackeyLove can do, because I'm looking towards Rookie as well. He's got that Ari again. Happy to just blind pick that. He looked dominant in game number 1, having that as a pick into the Jace. Now he's going to play it into the Syndra, and we'll see how he does as top esports. Trying to get cheeky with it. JackeyLove pretending he's caught out. Does JinJiao face check? No. Walks away. Drops an emote. And top esports level 1 will be denied.
I don't know if that's allowed to be on broadcast, but we'll have to wait and see because the fans are getting very excited for this game too. But I do want to highlight how LGD, because they blinded this Vi as that first pick, putting so much priority for Meteor in this game too. Something like the Poppy, ideally you want to play away from her because every instance of a skirmish, it is just going to deny you. And I don't know how this Vi is going to do up against something like the Lulu and Poppy. The Yordle combo, might I add, because of those dashes and denial of engages. So it's going to be really tough on how Meteor pilots this champion and how he decides to act in this early game. We saw Decade pilot something like the Gnar in the previous Wayward Gaming game where he was able to get a lot of pressure soaked in with that hull breaker as well. So hopefully that is going to be an opportunity for LGD to play off.
We'll see if it will be. I love that you mentioned the Yordles. We've got a TFT advert on the bottom of the screen. That is part of the new set. They do only have 2 Yordles though, so won't get the 3-set bonus. Great little trade from Rookie, sidestepping the Q there from Haichao. As Haichao now hits that level 2, and suddenly he's the one that can get aggressive, but Rookie just, you can't hit him. There's just nothing you can do. It's like trying to shoot Neo. It's not happening.
Shoot Neo. I'm not the best FPS player there is in the world, but I still enjoy that game quite a lot. However,
what? It's a Matrix reference. You know
what?
Neo? Have you not seen The Matrix?
I haven't seen The Matrix.
Oh no. This is...
Wait, I thought you were talking about the Zeri twin in Valorant.
No, that's Neon. Hang on, Meteor's moving in Tian's here as well. It's Haichao. They'll walk away. I can't move on from this. You haven't seen The Matrix. I feel like this is my first proper boomer moment on broadcast maybe, but The Matrix is one of the greatest films ever in my mind. Like the trilogy, not so much, but the first one is just incredible.
I'm gonna throw myself out there. There's been a lot of iconic films that I haven't been able to see, so The Matrix definitely one of them, and I'm so sorry that you had to find out like this.
You don't have to apologize. I wasn't meaning to berate you, but yeah, absolutely incredible film.
I only watched Harry Potter a couple days ago. So.
What? For the first time?
Yeah, for the first time.
Did you just not have access to a cinema as a kid, or hang on.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm too busy playing League of Legends.
Yeah, we've got a film on our screens right now. It's the battle of 2 junglers, Meteor and Tian, battling, and Meteor just smites it away. Tian kind of wasting his time as he goes for this extended invade.
You already see Tian being as aggressive as ever on this Poppy as well, denying that kind of vision control that LGD has towards his bottom side. We do have Meteor getting spotted on a ward. I believe it was placed by Rookie, so that enabled Tian to move up, especially with Rookie somehow getting that lane party in the mid lane. And a common trend that we see in top esports, especially when it comes to the early game, is Tian really likes invading the enemy team. And if you look at bottom side, the Aphelios and Lulu is getting lane party, which is not what you want as the Xayah and Rakan, because you want to be the ones forcing those Flash out of this scaling duo and making Meteor to kind of revisit that lane and start getting those kills online as soon as possible.
Oh no, that's a big knock-up.
There it is!
Forced to flash, the Ignite is there. You asked for a bit more presence out of the Xayah Rakan and you get it immediately. Envyy and JinJiao showing us why this is their priority duo right now, but still 50% of the CS that JackeyLove has for Envyy right now. That is a really tough spot to be in so early on in the game. No matter what the matchups, You shouldn't be 20 CS down with no jungle presence.
Look, I saw what Mark was trying to do, and I, as a support player, respect it. He was going for the plates and the support gold on that Spell Thieves, and he got it. So, coming back with a Ruby Crystal, I mean, Mark getting the kind of extra bit of gold into his pockets. But we also have to talk about these two top laners burning that TP, getting that lane reset as well. Where if we talk about this top side, I want to focus in on this Rift Herald because I feel like if they give up this first dragon and focus it, and 1v1 in the mid lane.
Oh, what a dodge from Rookie on the Scat of the Week, but the ultimate already used. Haichao can't quite finish the job. How did he dodge that stun? There was a million orbs.
There was 4 orbs and Rookie was in the middle of the space without any CC, so I'm not too sure if it was just the Syndra Qs missing. But Rookie getting the better trade out of that too, but the Corrupting Pot is going to allow Haichao to stay in the lane just a little bit as JinJiao is trying to get in that wave pushed. But no TPs, no ultimates available for both mid laners. I do think LGD have the advantage when it comes to the bottom lane. There's so much fighting, Munch!
Certainly is. That's going to be a flash force as Wayward played that beautifully. Decade trying to get a bit of damage down as the mini Gnar, but Wayward immediately punishes that. JackeyLove has his summoners, takes a couple of feathers. Still walking up fairly aggressively, not afraid of the 2v2 because he knows the Tian is on the way. There's a route out from the Graviton, but Rakan can always get out. Envyy, very confident to step on forward and keep getting this damage out.
Something I've just noticed is that just look at the river control and there's 3 pink wards placed by LGD, so I would love for them to force top esports to walk into this Baron pit by starting that up and then burning some ultimates out of these players because Tian is still level 5. I feel like once you wait for the Poppy to hit level 6, it's going to be really hard trying to force numbers advantage when it comes to the bottom side. Have a Meteor on this vibe. Pretty quiet so far, but good vision control to say the least.
Now pushing in the bottom side. Feathers, deny it, but look at the fact that they've already got a plate down here as ultimate comes out from JackeyLove, does a bit of damage, gets a bit of sustain for him as well. Rookie's moving over, they're clearing this wave already. Envyy and JinJiao in big trouble. 4 summoners available. Tian goes in to start the play because Rookie's on the way. Spirit Rush still on cooldown, it's about to come back up. The charm lands onto Envyy anyway, and now the Spirit Rush, but he can't go under the tower to finish it.
I feel like Envyy should have died there. Really great charm out of Rookie, but he thought the last bit of damage was going to finish off the Zai. Unfortunately, not enough. As top esports, they had vision on Meteor. If you take a look at that top side ward, it did catch out this Vi, so they should have just full committed because, yes, you get plates into JackeyLove's pockets, but that's also Rift Herald going into LGD's favor.
3 plates, though, for JackeyLove, one of them solo. Certainly going to be a lot of gold. And I feel like that was so close to the perfect play for top esports. Had Spirit Rush come up just 2 seconds earlier, that's a double kill coming through. But unfortunately, that ability on cooldown means that he can only do it right at the very end of the play. So not quite what top esports were looking for. You see Haichao is loving the fact that Rookie left the lane. He's 20 CS, almost 30 CS up in that mid lane now. As Rookie will close the gap slightly with the crashing wave, but ultimately, Rookie not getting a kill there really hurts top esports.
Yeah, and taking a look at the gold graph, JackeyLove being, or having the most gold, sitting on 80 CS at this moment. It's all about this, I feel, is for the game too, and putting all these resources onto JackeyLove. Top esports executing that perfectly, and I feel like when you do come to these 5v5s, it's going to be a really big struggle for Decade or Meteor, even JinJiao, to find angles onto this Aphelios, because we always talk about how the Lulu and the Poppy is going to be there with the Polymorph and of course the W. So they realistically need to look for flanks, or at least Decade needs to have that flash available to really force JackeyLove out of position to find a successful skirmish.
We'll see if they can get onto the Aphelios. I feel like that's the story of every Aphelios game, isn't it? Can you get onto the Aphelios? It's like its own mini-game. As JackeyLove gets priority in this bottom side, bit of bonus harass as well. But not trying to go for the Drake just yet. We're almost 10 minutes in and still no Drake taken. I'm looking towards Meteor though. Has the Herald in pocket, hovering towards the bottom side, clearing downwards. Perhaps could use that Herald to try and force the Drake as well, but I'm not sure top esports will respect it. I'm pretty sure they'll contest regardless.
I'm gonna be real, JinJiao, you can't be sitting in that bottom lane and being under tower while Mark on the Lulu is out roaming you throughout this river. And we really see a lack of synergy between the jungle and support for this game too, where it's really restricted how the Xayah and Rakan have been able to play the game. Meteor finally visiting this bottom lane, but flashes and cleanses are available for top esports, so I don't think they're going to be able to execute it first time around.
JackeyLove trying to crash that wave is Tian in the bottom side, but Meteor's here too. Tian not spotted just yet. The wave will come through. This would be bad for top esports, or will it? They're not interested in the dive, they're interested in the tower. And Meteor, he's got 2 seconds left on the Herald. He's going to have to just slam it in this bottom lane. And top esports, they've still got their jungler here if they want to deny it.
Another play into JackeyLove's pockets with the dragon also getting started up by top esports. This Xayah and Rakan, 2 games in a row, not that big of a presence in this early game. I'm getting worried for this Rakan because I feel like if you don't force those summoner spells out of this fearness and Lulu, I mean, we've already seen what fearnesses can do in the LPL with that Gale Force coming online as that second item as well. It's very scary. He acts as his own engage. JinJiao barely dodging out on the charm as he looks for his first roam towards his mid lane. Jesus.
Herald does go down in the end. I think the timer on the overlay was slightly off there, as it looked like it was timed out for quite a while. Herald will go down in the mid lane instead. Tian there to try and answer, but JackeyLove finishes off the plates solo. And look at that CS lead. 50 CS, well, 40 now after Envyy grabs that wave, but absolutely monumental lead for JackeyLove. Kraken Slayer finished off now. And a phenomenal start to the game for top esports. As we keep on talking about this, Aphelios is the win condition. 1.5 items already.
Yep, now working towards that Gale Force for the second extra bit of mobility when it comes to these team fights, but I feel like with the Xayah being so down in gold, I mean down 5 plates and also 50 CS, on top of that, you're kind of expecting Haichao to really step up as that DPS in these 5v5 team fights. However, without that Shadow Flame in his pockets, I don't think Aphelios is under that much threat. Unless Meteor is able to kind of get his hands onto this unless Meteor is able to get his hands onto this AD carry of top esports, but you need to have amazing follow-up from LGD for that to happen. And with the Rift Herald being the next major objective on the map, you would expect that with flashes all available for the side of LGD.
Does feel like they should have the tools available.
This is a level 1 replay.
Taking a look at the level 1.
Yeah, I mean, Mark is just utilizing this bush control perfectly, having that ward in the middle as well. Envyy not being able to kind of approach the wave. That does mean Mark and JackeyLove were able to hit level 2 first. As we see Lulu just being a Giga Chat and zoning out the Xayah and Rakan. I feel like Xayah and Rakan, if you do start the W, that is when you are the strongest. You can potentially force summoner spells out. But this wave slowly building up for the side of top esports does mean that this Xayah and Rakan not being used to the most desirable ability.
Yeah,
this
so
is a very long replay.
This is kind of cool. I'm here for it. We get to see how they played out the early laning phase and managed to get the 3-wave crash. How they started building this lead. The JackeyLove's found for himself. Wayward knocking Haichao underneath the tower, forces the flash, doesn't use the all-out. Did use his own flash to make that happen. Kind of surprised to see him not use the all-out, to be quite honest. Well, won't find it for now, as Tian just clearing away these Krugs as much as he can. Decade getting a bit of damage down and denying some of them. As Tian will walk away. Rookie pushing the wave at the bottom side. We've had a whole rearrange during that replay. Haichao, ooh, good scat of the week, keeps himself safe.
We saw in the replay that Meteor had an angle onto Mark, but barely losing out vision on this Lulu, also forcing the flash out, so that was a bit unfortunate in terms of vision control. But we do see LGD securing the Scuttle Crab and kind of pushing in their vision control to be deeper in towards that top side vision as they want to look for this Rift Herald. But I think JackeyLove sitting on the Kraken Slayer compared to Envyy, who's sitting on only the components, they're not going to have enough damage specifically for this upcoming team fight, so I'm not too sure how they're going to approach this.
Let's see. As Meteor starting that Herald off.
This looks fine, guys. JinJiao just got traded like 5 orders and he's half HP.
Yeah, not ideal. He's actually going to have to reset, and that means Meteor has to back away from the Herald. Tian will be able to reset that one as Wayward getting kind of bullied. We've got mid versus top on the top and bottom side of the map here, which I feel like maybe favors top esports based on the fact that both their mid and top were losing lane in terms of CS. Perhaps these are slightly better matchups for them. I'm not so sure, but we'll have to see how that one pans out. But Wayward, I mean, he's against a ranged lane bully or a ranged lane bully. You really can't win at that one.
It's okay, Wayward playing weak side. We can always trust in him in these games, but it's kind of expected for Rookie to be a bit down in terms of CS. He was rotating towards that bottom side just to secure extra pressure for JackeyLove to walk up to that first tier 1 tower and get those tower plates into his pockets. But my eyes for its upcoming team fight is going to be on Haichao. He is resetting right now. I'm assuming he's going to pick up boots or something. But top esports kind of getting everything around the map in terms of objectives.
Yeah, so far so good for top esports as Decade is in big trouble. Q3 flashed away from, but Wayward chasing for more. Decade. Luckily the minion wave is there. He can hop away to safety, but it will mean top esports get themselves this Herald. Drake spawning on the bottom side of the map as well. And you can imagine they make a beeline down there, but it is Meteor to start it off for now. Top esports perhaps look for a dive on the top side instead. Haichao walk away, good scat of the week, but Rookie's not going to let him get away with that one. Everfrost wide, Charm is not though. Tian charging on in for more. The slow is in play, the knockup is there. And that is first blood at 16 minutes for Tian. It's answered though, Decade grabs himself a kill of his own.
Yeah, Haichao, you shouldn't be walking into that topside jungle without any vision control. You already have your own jungle starting the dragon for your own team, and I just feel like that was a bit of a misstep from the mid laner. Good polymorph.
Knock up onto JackeyLove here. Everyone hitting him, but the Moonlight Vigil will sever him. He actually stays alive. 2v3. Everything burned from top esports to keep JackeyLove alive, but keep him alive they do. Decade looking for a tower here, but here comes reinforcements. Decade, he's gone too deep. Thought he had the 1v1, but he does not have the opportunity. Rookie forced the flash over the wall here. Decade surely will go down on this one. Knocked back again. Rookie's just going to recall, though. Will help finish the kill off. Tian actually has to be enlisted just to finish the job off, and that's 2 kills, both into the pocket of Tian now.
It was a struggle, but at the very end, we were able to get there. But the scary thought about this Aphelios Munch is it was a 2v3, and that's without Poppy in the equation protecting this Aphelios, and they were able to win that mid-skirmish. We'll have another look at this replay because Haichao not having the flash available, Rookie having really good instinct and just committing every single spell onto the Syndra, and also securing that charm, which was set up by that Everfrost. I mean, that is just first blood at 16 minutes. Like you said, the LGD making their own return play does mean the kill going to this Gnar's hand. I want to see a Hull Breaker coming out of this Gnar because you already see LGD struggling to kind of force hard skirmishes when it comes to the mid game. So having that extra bit of side lane pressure where Wayward isn't going to be able to match at the very end around that 30-minute mark is going to be a huge positive for LGD. But the way they answer these skirmishes is going to be a big question for specifically Haichao.
Oh my god, JackeyLove is 2,700 gold above Envyy right now. That is absurd. That is a full mythic in the lead for JackeyLove right now. I mean, you really don't get bigger leads than that unless there's been, I mean, especially considering how low the kills are in this game. Like, that is an absolutely mental lead. So the Herald does get its charge down. Got a full-on ARAM in the mid lane, but it will diffuse after the Herald charges. Top esports can't actually find the tower for themselves.
Yep, and we already see Rookie trying to pick up that side lane wave with Tian constantly hovering. I don't think LGD will ever have the opportunity to start a Baron and force the TP out of this Ahri because they have such low damage, especially in the ADC department. JackeyLove looking for a bit of trade and forcing LGD's bottom lane to give up their tier 1 tower here.
Trying to. Well, you won't actually find the angle on the tower. Envyy sticks around, has enough HP. And I feel like when you're seeing Ezreal's jinxes these days, you do see this all pretty much just blasted out on cooldown, trying to impact the map, trying to do things. This is the first time I'm seeing And Aphelios really just blast that Moonlight Vigil pretty much on cooldown for pressure. JackeyLove acknowledging that this is going to be a late game one. Like, I don't need this Moonlight Vigil anytime soon. Just going to keep using that to try and find presence. And I love to see that. Wayward buffering all of the CC and uses the All Out to pull Meteor away from Haichao and get himself out to safety. Beautifully played.
It's very rare to see Envyy sitting on 0 KP at 20 minutes into the game. I feel like LGD, they need to start forcing things on these side lanes. Wayward getting a bit too greedy with how he was disrespecting the damage from the Syndra, but that does allow Top Esports to open up the map and secure this tier 1 tower.
It does, but I feel like they probably should have been able to get that without Wayward dying. Like, Wayward got out. He had his golden ticket in pulling Meteor over the wall. And he went back towards the Krugs. Just a little bit greedy for Wayward there. Kind of punished pretty heavily by LGD. Can they find anything more, though? They're going to push the wave into the tier 2 on the top side, but they're not confident enough to actually try and push that objective. Haichao going to stick around for another wave, but it will be everyone resetting. Drake coming up in 30 seconds. Both teams with 1 to start. And the gold is pretty much dead even right now, so this really could be anyone's.
Yeah, LGD's kind of team plan coming into this next team fight is going to just focus down JackeyLove with that flash not being up for a few more seconds, but Hullbreaker in the hands of Decade. I'm not too sure how LGD is going to approach these hard skirmishes when it comes to these major objectives, so hopefully they can just hold out for a little bit longer and continuously work towards that side lane, which you already see they're slowly opening up the map, and that does allow Meteor to lean towards them. They can potentially go for a sneaky Baron as well, but they do seem like they're just denying vision.
Stepping forward here, Top Esports just going to force mid priority and say, we don't think you're going to do the Baron. We're going to crash a wave in the mid lane, and then LGD have to move over to answer that one. Envyy the one. And now perhaps an opportunity for Top Esports to find a pick. Tian charging forwards, Meteor forced to flash already. Haichao takes a shield to the face. I thought that would proc the Banshees, to be honest, but I suppose it is an auto attack.
Yep, and Top Esports getting that vision control down. It is going to get swept away by Haichao, but having constant mid lane pressure, they want to force something here. They see the Gnar showing in that top side, but who's going to be the first one to really start the fight? We're not too sure just quite. Flashes are available for both carries, but I don't know how Meteor is going to be able to get his hands onto JackeyLove when he doesn't have that flash, getting forced out by the Poppy.
I kind of want to go back to something you said in the first game as well, which is that Top Esports often rely on a rookie being there engaged. I feel like that's truer than ever with this composition. Like for Tian and for Wayward, pretty much the way to engage is either someone on LGD mispositions or you find a flank. Like it's very hard for Cassante or Poppe to engage in a 5v5 in the river, you know, without someone really stepping out of position. Whereas Rookie can flash and find that chop. We saw it in game number 1. It's certainly not an easy win condition to pull off in terms of finding that pick, but see if they can manage to make it happen. Wayward and Mark looking to clear vision here. Over the wall they all go, and Mark is gone. Everyone blasting their flashes, blasting their ultimates to make that kill happen, and now the top side, Decade trying to pressure. Does have that hull breaker. The rest of the team moving over as well. Baron on the cards potentially for LGD.
LGD find a lonely Yordle trying to secure some vision control onto this Baron, but without Tian next to you, buddy, that is going to be the cease and desist onto your face. And LGD successfully gets a pick, which you already see them trying to desperately force these picks with the Vi ultimate and also JinJiao on this Rakan, but that is going to be double ultimates committed to the support, so it does allow Top Esports to safely regain this vision control towards the top side, as you don't have much engage tool. And going back to your point where we talk about Top Esports composition, they fully rely on Rookie for those initial engages, but coming into this game, I feel like they can just do reactive plays, as LGD are the ones in the driver's seat. They want to be the ones forcing these plays, but with that Poppy in the hands of Tian, it is such a struggle, as this is a very low kill game, and that's exactly what's working in favor of Top Esports.
Decade trying to find himself alone in the side lane, but Rookie will answer that hull breaker. Remember, this is the matchup where Decade looked good against Weibo in game number 1, right? The Gnar versus Cassante. This is where he managed to show up and kind of mitigate the shy. Now, granted, he got solo killed in the last, like, 30 seconds of the game on the wrong side of the map, but other than that, looked fantastic, was able to pressure inhibs, was able to find space on the map. Haichao and Meteor looking to do exactly that as they're waiting in the wings. Wayward steps up to the wave. Will they find their mark? Tian not in the area right now. Wayward is alone, has his flash available. Will he go for it? Buffers the CC here, and now TP coming out as the all-out used onto Meteor. Dodges away from some of the damage from Haichao. The knockback is there, and Wayward's played it beautifully. Rookie's here, and JackeyLove in with the damage as well. Wayward, the beautiful bait, pays off. He's like a worm on the end of a fishing line, and boy have they caught a big fish today. Haichao will fall to Rookie as Mark steals the kill, but that's 3 for top esports and a Baron to boot.
And LGD, come on, you had Decade pushing in that bottom side and having that extra bit of pressure. But Wayward playing that exchange perfectly, also stopping the CC out of Meteor for that initial engage as top esports had enough time to make up for that top side. But with this Baron getting secured by top esports, I'm not too sure if Decade can continue his tiny achievements in this bottom side, as he can't really clear the Baron minions when it comes to either Ari or Cassante.
Second another look, it looked like it should have just been a pick onto Wayward, like, and the minimap. Top esports are nowhere near, but the second they show, everyone charges.
Yeah, Wayward bought so much time for top esports and reinforcements to come in. I mean, Rookie was also trying to match this Gnar, but forcing the TP out of this Ari as well, and then having a 4v5 just meant everything was going right for the side of top esports. JackeyLove left untouched due to all the engages tools getting used onto this Cassante. Meant that this Aphelios was having the time of his life. Rookie doing Rookie things, flash timing and securing that kill onto Haichao as well. But LGD, you need to play towards your win con, which is Decade this game.
Certainly is. He managed to get the tier 2 there. The inhib tower actually goes down as well. But can he find enough presence to stop top esports? Because now with Baron in pocket, they can start to siege, they can start to find pressure across the map. And Wayward can match him in that side lane with a Baron buff. It's going to be very difficult for Decade to find pressure onto towers. Speaking of Decade, Tian's moving over. Will he find a chance though? Decade actually moving back up towards Wayward. He is not expecting a gank right here. He's about to send mid lane. JackeyLove the target here, stunned up, but will be taken down. Envyy with the shutdown there gets the bonus gold as Mark has to just flash over the wall and leg it.
Really quick decision making from LGD as they saw a glimpse of a second of Tian showing towards that top side, spotted by Decade. So they just full sent it onto JackeyLove, even though having that flash available, but great follow up for this recount, and that buys them a bit of time and dragon control for the next 20 seconds.
Does Tian be here to try and catch the wave? But Decade still pushing this one in, and Tian forced out. Mark shields him, protects him just a little bit, but that'll be a tier 2 taken in the mid lane here. Envyy has the damage to finish the job, or does ETN? Starting an engage here, tower goes down, Envyy half HP. Away with a Q3, but there's no carry here. Rookie was down in the bottom side, just getting back to the mid lane now. JackeyLove only just respawning, but now LGD will be forced to reset just as Dragon spawns.
Look, if I'm LGD, more than happy for that trade. You get the shutdown from the Aphelios, you secure 2 mid lane towers, and also you don't kind of give up this mountain soul going over to top esports, because I feel like LGD, they were desperately trying to look for an angle onto JackeyLove. It had been a flash engage from JinJiao, as JackeyLove wasn't able to react to this. It wasn't a flash engage from JinJiao, but it was Meteor queuing out of vision and ultimates being secured onto the Aphelios. He does have the stopwatch Gale Force Flash Cleanse available for this upcoming team fight, so hopefully playing front to back, Wayward also grouped up now, they can look to really utilize this Baron buff, which has been denied for the past few minutes.
That's a big list of escapes, isn't it? Stopwatch, Gale Force, Flash, Cleanse, plus you've got a Lulu right next to you, plus you've got a Poppy there to peel, you've got a Cassante at the top side as well. Everyone will be playing Protect the President. 3 items, but Envyy on 3 items as well. That shutdown has closed the distance between these 80 carries, and it's only a 500 gold lead right now. Your favorite top esports. So, LGD, you asked, hey, is it just a game 1 thing, or is this a team that can show up? And now in game number 2, it does feel like they're matching top esports so far. Let's talk scaling though. Let's talk team fights, because I feel like we are getting to the point where it could come down to a 5v5. How does this play out?
We already talked about how much escapism JackeyLove has in the upcoming team fight, but I need to pause that for a second. It does seem like Top Esports want to look for a pick onto Decade, but everything's missing from Rookie.
Yeah, Rookie not able to find his mark. Decade will continue the presence in the top side, and he is, what is that, 7 CS away from a Flame Horizon at this point. Decade has been farming up a storm in the side lane. Wayward consistently A, zoned out by Decade, and B, roaming to try and help the team. Decade is more than happy to take advantage of that fact. A couple more CS, and he'll have it. And there it is, a Flame Horizon for Decade in his 2nd series in the LPL. He's found 100 CS advantage over Wayward. That is monumental.
Decade's ability to soak up pressure on something like the Gnar is absolutely insane. As we approach the late game stage, it's 30 minutes into the game, and I feel like Top Esports, they're dropping the ball a little bit. We need to remind the audience that JackeyLove was 50 CS above Envyy, 2,000 gold ahead of Desire, but if we compare the items, I mean, they're sitting on even. So LGD, they've been able to slowly crawl back into this game through picks. Shadow Flame also getting picked up by the Syndra, so she's gonna really hurt when it comes to these 5v5s. JackeyLove, he needs to play these teamfights perfectly, and Tian has to hover this Aphelios, because really see that LGD, once you kind of show on that side lane as this Poppy, they're not afraid to pull the trigger. But my biggest problem is, can LGD get those flanks onto the carries of Top Esports, because you can't fight face forward up against a Poppy.
No, it's tough. It feels like with the way these compositions have lined up, neither team necessarily has a good way of starting a fight. That's why we've had such a slow game. We talked about Top Esports don't necessarily have that hard a gauge. They need to play reactive, but equally, like you say, the Poppy kind of denies the ability for LGD to be proactive in these fights. Like Vi, Rakan, Gnar, all want to jump forward to the fight. Well, Poppy ruins that for them. So, feels like we end up in somewhat of this like stalemate scenario. It's Tian trying to find vision control around the Baron. It's 3 Drakes though for Top Esports, and potentially a 4th spawning in 90 seconds time. LGD are going to have to be cognizant of that, try and deny the soul, because Wayward will be practically invincible. Same for Tian if they get a Mountain Soul.
And Top Esports trying to get a pick onto Decade, but unfortunately with the amount of movement speed, this Gnar was able to escape. Top Esports, they're getting a bit desperate. They want to force a 5v5 and get that TP out of this Gnar. Mark?
Oh, Mark almost goes down, but this is just going to be Baron Force. Meteor looks for the steal over the wall, and he gets it!
He got it!
Top Esports Burger flipping the Baron, and Meteor even flashes out the top side of the pit. He doesn't even die for it. And now, looking to stop the recalls, because Decade is on the side lane push. He's got Baron to work with. Meteor sacrifices himself, but the ports have been stopped, and Meteor is looking to end the game. LGD, have they actually done this one? JackeyLove protecting his team's recalls. How often do you see the AD carry putting his life on the line? Step forward with the Inferno Moonlight Vigil, and Decade forced away. Top Esports keep their cool and keep themselves in the game, but LGD, absolute heroics coming out.
Oh, and Haichao gets the stun onto Tian, but Meteor not only securing that Baron steal for LGD, but also secures a 1-for-1 trade onto Mark with the Baron Soul spawning in 10 seconds. They're more than happy to give this away, because Decade, he TP'd towards the top side and he wants to look for another inhibitor.
He certainly does. Tier 2 taken, Dragon spawning. This is Mountain Soul, remember. And Meteor nowhere near this will be Soul taken by Top Esports. Big objective for them. JackeyLove and Tian want a little bit more, but they're in a 2v3 right now unless Mark gets over here quick. JackeyLove, you've got to be careful, mate. This is full JackeyLove territory, and that is full JackeyLove damage. He giveth, he taketh. Today, he's on the giving side of things. Decade wants to get in Gnar against the wall, but the rest of the team isn't here to follow up. The stun comes out. JackeyLove has so much damage with the red and white weapons. Charging forward as Rookie finds a charm as well. And Top Esports, just when they lose Baron, just when they're losing their base, they find their way back in the game.
And in JackeyLove, we trust, but the Super Minions, they're trying their damn hardest to end this game. However, JinJiao and Decade looking a bit miscommunicated when it comes to the team fights. Meteor trying to stop the wave, but he didn't realize that TES, they have a wave for this final push.
They've got a wave. It's the final push, like you say. The super minions can't quite finish the towers for top esports Nexus. JackeyLove has to do everything here. Envyy on the back foot, needs to carry, needs to be the one to step on up, but the Moonlight Vigil only just wide here. I think Meteor managed to get in and clear the wave, or maybe it was Envyy's feathers, I'm not sure. But top esports halted in their tracks. Meteor potentially looking for a flank here. What is he looking for?
They are going to walk away as that 4-man unit with so many TP wards available for Haichao, but they aren't going to take this. They're going to continue the trend of Meteor having that hull breaker and utilizing the side lane push of this little Na. But top esports getting 1 kill from JinJiao and then Decade. I'm not too sure what he was trying to achieve there, because you had the GA and this Lulu available for the side of top esports. You just didn't really have the follow-up that you so desired. JinJiao just having a really big struggle on this Rakan, trying to get onto the Aphelios. As you see, LGD no follow-up whatsoever from the Syndra. And I feel like this Gnar engage was initially decent as it was a 4v3, but JackeyLove having the red and white, and also a really great polymorph from Mark, just meant this Gnar was going to get deleted instantly.
Yeah, Tian knocking Meteor away as well. So it's not even a fair fight at that point. Decade left alone. And well, Aphelios, full items now. JackeyLove, if he wasn't online before, he certainly is now. And it feels like despite Decade's best efforts here, despite the massive CS advantage, despite almost managing to split push end the game, it's still top esports with the advantage. It's still top esports close to a 2-0. But look at the gold. They are barely ahead, still just 300 gold lead. It's all on JackeyLove here as rookie with an 8-stack Dark Seal as well.
We need to talk about how Decade has the most CS on LGD, out farming the Xayah and this Syndra, sitting on 390 in this game too. I mean, you already see that top esports, specifically Wayward, struggling to match this Gnar already, where they are sending Rookie towards these side lanes. And like you said in a previous point, top esports, they need the Ahri in these team fights to really put pressure onto Envyy and Haichao. But without him, I mean, these reactive plays, you can only wish for LGD to continuing making those mistakes, specifically in JinJiao, and play of those failed attempts. But with the Baron spawning in 1 minute, look at the vision control that LGD have been able to secure in this top side.
And I feel like this right here on our screen is exactly what I've been talking about with LGD. Like, you just can't believe this team is 0-6. They're fighting this hard against top esports. They did the same against JDG. They did the same against Weibo. How can they not find a win in the LPL? How have they not found a series yet? It's absolutely heartbreaking for them, because I feel like this team is playing so hard. They are really trying every single series. The prep is obviously there every single time. Like, the players certainly have some talent behind them. But it just never seems to happen in top esports. Like, at the back of my mind, I'm still favoring them in this game, despite how everything has gone, despite what Decade's managed to pull out. One final team fight could change it all. It's top esports looking for a death brush at this point.
But all of their members are hovering towards this bottom side. As you see, Meteor showing towards that top lane wave, so they are going to successfully... Oh, Envyy is caught out!
That's Featherstorm. That's Cleanse.
And Cleanse!
That's a massive pick-off from Rookie, even if he doesn't get a kill. Like, how can Envyy ever step up in a Baron fight now? He just can't.
They're going for the inhibitor for the side of LGD. They want to stop this. Meteor too late.
A valiant effort from Meteor, but it's not going to be enough. Tries to stop the ports now. The GA will buy some time. This Decade will get the inhib. JackeyLove in a 2v1 here will mark alongside him. The sustain is there, though, when he actually gets them. He charges forward. Your carries mean nothing here. Aphelios, Lulu, JackeyLove and Mark. They are synonymous. The triple kill comes through, and the rest of the team aced by top esports.
Munch, I blink, and JackeyLove gets a triple kill. Amazing polymorph by Mark and stopping all the DPS from Envyy on the Xayah. Now waiting for the wave to slowly push into this middle lane, and they're gonna look for a clean 2-0 coming into this day.
Nice. Drops the turret for the teleport from Rookie, and they'll finish the job. Top Esports. It was not a clean game. It was not an easy game. But it's a win, and that's all that matters. 2-0 at the end of the day, and again, another heartbreak for LGD.
They were so close to winning through a decade on this Nar.